Today, I'm going to show you a very simple framework to find leads. So it's called my lead source ideas framework. And the idea is like, it's a very small triangle you see here that is very simple. And the goal of this is to book more meetings. And very often, what's happening is whenever we're doing cold outreach, we think of one or two channels, and often we forget that there are many other channels, many other things we can work with, what I call low-hanging fruits. And so that's the thing I'm going to show you there. So let me just show you a bunch of things there. So first of all, you have what I call the account-based sources. Then you have the content generated. And then you have the opportunistic. So that's the triangle there to get you more meetings. First, working on your account-based leads. So I'm going to explain you more in details what it means, but it's basically the accounts where you make a conscious choice to go after them. Very often it's called account-based marketing, or it's the type of accounts you really try to focus on. It can be called bounty, top 50, whatever. Content generated is really the kind of leads that come out from content. So if you're on LinkedIn, Twitter, or any kind of like social network, there is some content that generate leads for you. And then you have the opportunistic one, which is often very much on content, but can also be something coming from other sources. And typically in there, we have different types. I'm going to take my green pen here. In the content generated, you have the external content and the internal content. Not easy to write like that. Okay, so external content is content that doesn't come from you or your company. So if you are identifying thought leaders, for example, and you want to poach their audiences, you actually can, that's really the strategy there. So it's content generated. So it means if I'm following a bunch of thought leaders, I want to sell, let's say, marketing engagement software, I will follow a thought leader that will talk about marketing and sometimes marketing engagement. This thought leader will often have a big audience. And what's going to be interesting is that with this external content here, whenever they post something that talks about a problem my audience is having, I can use this content as a trigger to get in touch with my leads. So it's very simple. I have an example. I've actually followed like a guy called Dave Gerhardt, and he gave some content about SEO. And I asked him a question. I say, hey, what's the typical time you need to see some results with SEO? And then there were 10, 20 people answering this. And so no one actually contacted me, but if you were selling SEO, you could have used my comment as a trigger to get in touch with me. So that's the external content. So that's the thing. Stay, open to this kind of content that comes from outside, from other thought leaders, other competitors, or people who are talking to the same target market or ideal customer profile, and you're going to find a lot of them. Then the internal. So this is content that is provided by you, people in your company, or your corporate page. So if we take LinkedIn, for example, whenever you have a content strategy and you post regularly, some people will start liking, engaging, and commenting with your content, and you can use that as a trigger to get in touch. That's what I used to do whenever I started with content on LinkedIn. Now I don't need to do it anymore, but I was simply posting content, people were engaging, liking, and then I was saying, thanks for getting in touch with my comment, or thanks for commenting or liking my post. Why don't we talk or do something like that? Today, an example from today, there was a guy, I did a poll last week about, or 2 weeks ago, about Zoom meetings as team building. And I was asking if it was good or bad. And so a lot of people said good, a lot of people said bad through a LinkedIn poll. And so I contacted all of them, everyone who answered, and sent them a very simple standardized message where I say, thanks for your vote on my poll about team meetings on Zoom. If you're actually looking for team meetings or whatever, here's a quick link where I've created a training, and you can simply get in touch and watch that. So what happens is, out of these people, there were I don't know, maybe 60 that I sent. There's around 10, 15 who answered me, 2, 3 who booked who just went on the landing page, So there's more who went on the landing page, but 2 who went on the landing page and signed up for the kind of training I was giving. And then there was 1 who booked a discovery call with me. So this internal content created an opportunity for me. And I'm having this call the call tomorrow. So that's an example of content where you can find that. Then what you can have in terms of opportunistic is what I call inbound. First, inbound. So inbound leads, you know them, leads that are coming to you. So for example, today, someone who saw my content for a while got in touch with me and said, hi Thibaut, I'm actually thinking of hiring SDRs. Why don't we have like a talk tomorrow to see if you can help train them? That's a pure inbound. This is super opportunistic. You know, it's a result of my content strategy. There's not much control I have over that. Super simple there. So that's really the inbound. And then you have what I call timing based. So these ones are often whenever you're scrolling on LinkedIn or on Twitter, you will suddenly see someone who seems to be the perfect fit for what you have to sell. And they even talk about a problem they have there. So an example would be for me, or if you're hiring, if you're like selling hiring services, if a rep says, or VP of sales says, hey, we are hiring, 30 plus reps in positions, please apply here or get in touch with me directly to apply. This is perfect. It's kind of like opportunistic. You will land there. You'll be able to use that as a trigger to open the conversation. And then that's going to be a good way to increase your chances of having an answer. And then finally, the account. So what I'll call here is the priority. So if you're doing outbound, you often have like priority list of accounts. So you are trying to get in touch with this account, maybe a top 100, top 50. And often you're going to try to do some account-based marketing to get in there. That's one of the toughest way to get meetings because it's very precise. You want to talk to one specific account, maybe 1 to 5 specific titles in this account, and it's pretty challenging, but that's a good way to do that. And what's surprising is a lot of companies are focusing only on this one. The 4 other ones I showed you, they completely forget it. So really, that's one where you need to have this strategy. It's going to bring you some control, but it's going to take a lot more effort to get some meetings there. And then finally, there's another one that is very important there, is what I call your dead opportunities. We often forget about them. My dead ops is that dead opportunities are people who used to like maybe do a discovery call with us or got in touch with us to discuss about different options, and they never got to kind of like move further and close as customers, but they were prospects and you are the real conversation with them. This is one of the easiest place to actually book meetings and generate new opportunities, because there are 2 types of people, in your pipeline. There's those who are, who closed and those who will close. That's how I like to see it. So dead opportunities are a really great way to get in touch. So that's why you should also have a reminder whenever you are generating and managing opportunities. Whenever you close one, every 3 months or 6 months, you should revisit it and see if you can get in touch with these people. So that's a summary about that. That's where you can find leads. And this is very, whenever you do that and you add just a bunch of channels, it's going to make your life a lot easier. So look about them. More meetings is through account with priority list, dead opportunities, very simple. Then through content, external content, thought leaders, competitors who are talking about things your ICP are trying to solve, your content or your company's content if you're posting regularly. And this is why this part here is super critical. Building a strategy of content, because this is going to generate a ton of leads for you. And then, you have the opportunistic, which is also super important, the inbounds that are coming based on your marketing strategies. They can also come based on your content strategy. And then in terms of timing. So whenever you are keeping your eyes open, you see like some kind of funding or someone sharing some information, that's great. So think about that. Try to open, like your eyes simply on these things. And what I would say is right now, the best thing you can do is go check your dead opportunities. You can find, tons of meetings there right away. So just do that and you'll be able to book some more meetings. So if you're interested in discussing more of how I can help you get there, you just fill the form that is below this video. If you're on my website, I'll also put that on Facebook. So you won't have much of a form, but you can comment there and I'll be happy to discuss that with you.